I used to wear the badge with pride. For 15 years, I believed in the system, in justice, in law, in protecting the people. But now, when I look at my reflection, I see a man who doesn't trust anyone, not even himself. I'm not sharing this for pity. I'm sharing it because I need someone out there to hear the truth. Maybe someone like me, a person who thought the system was built to do good. My name doesn't matter. Let's just say I was a detective in a mid-sized US city, the kind that looks peaceful on the surface but rots from the inside out. You drive through it and think, nice town, quiet people, decent schools. But if you knew what I knew, you'd never feel safe again. It all started the night a 17-year-old kid got shot during what they called a drug bust gone wrong. I wasn't even supposed to be there. I was called in after the shooting, to file the follow-up report. The suspect, a kid named Andre Collins, died before the ambulance arrived. The officers involved? 2 of my colleagues. Guys I used to grab beers with after shift. At first, I didn't question anything. I mean, you don't. You trust your brothers. You think, yeah, must have been self-defense. But something felt off. The gun found near the kid's hand, it looked too clean. No fingerprints. No residue. No blood. And the bullet casing on the ground didn't match the department-issued ammunition. When I brought it up, my sergeant told me, let it go, Mike. Don't dig into something that's already been buried. That's when I realized, it was buried. Someone, maybe higher up, wanted it that way. But I couldn't let it go. I reopened the case quietly, late nights in the evidence room. I compared ballistics reports, checked timestamps on body cam footage. And that's when I found it, a 2-minute gap in the footage from both officers. 2 minutes erased. I remember just staring at the monitor, my hands shaking. That's not a glitch. That's a cover-up. The next morning, my access to the evidence locker was revoked. And a day later, my lieutenant called me into his office, told me Internal Affairs was investigating me for tampering with evidence. That's how fast it happens. One day you're the good guy, the next you're the suspect. You ever had that feeling? When the people you die for suddenly look at you like you're the enemy? If you've ever been in that position, I want you to comment below, because I swear to God, it's the loneliest feeling in the world. Anyway. They took my badge. My gun. My access. They told me to stay home until further notice. But I didn't stop. Because I'd already downloaded copies of the reports, the autopsy, and what was left of the body cam footage. And when I compared timestamps from dispatch logs, I found something even worse. The kid called 911 before he was shot. He wasn't selling drugs. He was running from someone. And the call, the one that could have proved it, had been deleted from the system. That's when I knew this wasn't about one bad cop. It was a chain. A whole department built on silence. I tried reaching out to a journalist I trusted, an old friend from college who worked crime stories for the local paper. We met in a diner outside the city, and I told her everything. She promised to check it out. 2 days later, her car accidentally went off the road. She survived, but her laptop didn't. The hard drive was destroyed. I started to feel like I was being followed. My phone glitched every time I tried to call anyone. My neighbors told me a dark SUV had been parked across from my house for hours some nights. You might think I'm paranoid. But I was trained to notice patterns, and this wasn't random. The department was cleaning up its mess, and I was part of the spill. One night, I got home and found my front door slightly open. Inside, nothing stolen, nothing broken, except the photo of me and my partner from the academy. Someone had taken it from the frame and torn it in half. That was the message. Back off, or next time it won't just be a picture. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in the dark, holding my badge, wondering if I should burn it. If you're still listening right now, please, hit that like button. Not because it helps me, but because it tells me someone cares that the truth still matters. Anyway, I packed a small bag, drove 2 states away, and hid out with an old army buddy. That's where I'm recording this now. I'm not looking for fame, or revenge. I just want people to know, corruption isn't a monster in the shadows. It wears a uniform. It smiles. It shakes your hand. And when it feels threatened, it erases you. Sometimes I wonder if speaking out will get me killed. But staying silent already has. So here I am. Talking to a camera, hoping someone out there hears me before they make me disappear too. Tell me, Reddit. What would you do if the system you served your whole life turned against you? Because I still don't know what I'm supposed to do next. You ever have your entire life collapse in silence? No explosions, no screaming, just the sound of your phone not ringing anymore. That's what it felt like when I left town. I thought the worst part was losing my badge. Turns out, the worst part was realizing that badge had been the only thing keeping me visible. Once it was gone, I was nobody. I was hiding out in a small cabin in Kentucky. No internet, no phone. Just an old radio and a mind that wouldn't shut up. Every night, I'd replay it all in my head, the shooting, the files, the look in my lieutenant's eyes when he told me to back off. I couldn't let it go. That kid, Andre Collins, he was somebody's son. Somebody's whole world. So, I started digging again. Quietly this time. My army buddy had a contact, a tech guy who could recover deleted data. I sent him what was left of the dispatch logs. A week later, he called me and said, "Mike, you're not gonna like this." The deleted 911 call was traceable, but not to a random glitch. It was manually removed from the system by a department admin, one of ours. And the real kicker? The call had been redirected to a private line, belonging to a high-ranking city official. That's when I realized, this wasn't just police corruption. It went higher. That night, I got an anonymous email. No sender. No subject. Just 3 words. Stop digging, traitor. I swear I felt my heart stop. I looked out the cabin window, and there it was again. That same black SUV. I don't know how they found me. Maybe the tech guy talked. Maybe someone traced my calls. But they knew. My friend wanted to leave, but I told him I couldn't. I wasn't going to run forever. I still had everything saved on a hard drive, the reports, the footage, the call logs, all of it. I decided I'd get it to someone who could actually expose it. That's when I reached out to a federal contact I'd worked with years ago, an honest agent, or at least I hoped so. I told him I had evidence of internal corruption, and he agreed to meet in person, in a diner outside Nashville. You ever drive to a meeting knowing it might be your last? I remember my hands shaking on the wheel, my eyes scanning every mirror. I even left my phone behind, wrapped in aluminum foil like some paranoid lunatic. But paranoia was the only thing keeping me alive. When I walked into that diner, he was already there. He looked nervous, like he'd rather be anywhere else. We shook hands. He said, "You have no idea how deep this goes." I slid the hard drive across the table. He slipped it into his jacket. Then he looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You should disappear, Mike. Tonight." Before I could ask why, he stood up and walked out. That was the last time I saw him. 2 days later, the news broke, federal agent found dead in motel room. Overdose. Except he didn't do drugs. I wanted to go public, to shout it all online, but every time I tried, my connection dropped. My accounts were locked. The files I had uploaded were corrupted. Someone was inside my system. You think I'm crazy? I used to think so too. But when I drove back to my cabin that night, my friend was gone. The front door kicked in. On the floor, a single bullet casing. Same type used in Andre's shooting. I remember sitting there in the dark, just whispering, "You win." Because what else can you say when you're fighting ghosts? But then something snapped in me. They'd taken everything, my career, my friend, my name. All I had left was the truth. So, I decided to go live. Not on mainstream media. Not on official platforms. I streamed straight to Reddit, from an encrypted account, middle of the night. I told everything, names, dates, files, everything I could before the feed cut out. For 23 minutes, my story was out there. Tens of thousands watched. Then my account vanished. But here's the thing, once the truth gets out, even for a moment, it's impossible to erase completely. Someone mirrored it, saved it, spread it. Now, sometimes, I'll check random forums, and I'll see fragments of my story, screenshots, reposts, debates. Some people think I'm a whistleblower. Others think I'm dead. And maybe, in a way, I am. Because I can't go back. My name's been blacklisted. Every application I file, every attempt to rebuild, denied. You don't get to expose the system and then live a normal life. But I don't regret it. That kid deserved the truth. And even if I'm the last one standing, I'll carry it for him. If you've listened this far, thank you. Seriously, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. I want to know, would you have done the same? Would you risk your career, your life, to tell the truth? Because I'm still out here, watching, waiting, and hoping that maybe one day, someone out there will finish what I started. I'm not sure where I'll go next. But I know one thing for certain. I'm still not sure what I'm doing. But I know why I'm doing it.